Welcome to Joe Stunner Boxing. Deontay Wilder stops Tyrell Herndon, the unheralded Tyrell Herndon, in 7 rounds. A couple of minutes into the 7th round, Herndon finished on his feet. He had been on the floor twice, once in the 2nd round from a check left hook. Don't know how many knockdowns or certainly knockouts Wilder scored with his left hand rather than that scud missile right hand. But he managed to put Herndon on the floor in the 2nd round. And then in the 6th round, I can't remember which punch it was. I think, was it the right hand? Put Herndon over. It was one of those scrappy knockdowns. Herndon at no point was really badly hurt in this fight, but he contributed immensely to his own downfall. I mean, when you consider that, this guy is 37 years old. Of his previous 5 fights, 4 were by stoppage or knockout. And in actual fact, if you go back to 2019, he suffered a 1-round knockout against a guy with a 2-4-2 record. So this is he's not beaten anyone. I mean, Richard Torres Jr. Stopped him in 2 rounds. That was a year and a half ago, roughly. He's a low-level guy. I don't mean to be insulting. He's got the guts to get in the ring with a former WBC champion. But he fought like a guy who was there to make up the numbers, to be honest with you. He's a C- level guy. And if Wilder carries on fighting this level of opposition, he'll pick up some more wins, some more stoppages, no doubt about it. But it was an odd fight in the sense that Wilder, like I say, Herndon finished on his feet. Wilder was desperately trying to sort of find the ghost of that big right hand throughout the fight. But to be honest, most of his good work came from his left hand. He began the fight with quite a good jab for maybe a round and a half, 2 rounds. And then it became this sort of pouring rangefinder for the cruise missile overhand right or right cross. And gradually he began to sort of grow in confidence almost. I mean, don't forget, Wilder has lost, 4 of his last 5 or something like that. He was stopped twice by Tyson Fury, back-to-back defeats that was. Joseph Parker outpointed him, and then Zhilei Zhang knocked him flat. And in the middle of all that, I think he had the 1-round Robert Helenius win. But like I said earlier, Herndon's no great shakes, but he contributed to his own downfall. Why? Because he simply did not have an offence. No offence to speak of in any of his work. He came out moving a fair bit. Wilder would come forward. Herndon would, stay on the outside. But then, interestingly, when Wilder, stopped or even moved back a little bit to reset, Herndon suddenly came forward, but he wasn't throwing any punches. Now, there were a couple of occasions, maybe 3 occasions throughout this fight, the first 6 rounds of this fight, where Herndon, for little 5-second pockets, came forward and started to actually throw some punches. And believe it or not, when he did, Wilder started to look his usual ragged self. And I thought when Herndon landed a couple of right hands, single right hands, but on different occasions, Wilder looked a bit perturbed. I don't know whether he was buzzed or not, but, we know that Wilder has no real defence. We know he can't fight backing up. He can't fight on the back foot. But if you give him every possible opportunity to come forward and do his work, yes, he can floor you with a check left hook. Yes, he can finally get the right hand landing. Although it wasn't landing with any kind of, that sort of razor-sharp power that we saw earlier on in his career. In short, Wilder looked old, but was allowed to look younger because Herndon simply wasn't doing enough work. Herndon, high guard, skirt around the ring a little bit, not really running, just staying out of range, And then when Wilder decided, okay, I'll have a 5-second rest here, Herndon would think, oh, now's my chance. And he'd get in and he'd try and push Wilder back. Wilder would loop those sort of, link those long tentacles of his around Herndon. It would all get very scrappy, as well as the knockdowns in the second and sixth round. Herndon was also on the floor, I think 3 other times, just through being wrestled to the floor, mauled to the floor. It was one guy who looked old, but like I say, was being made to look younger by another man who just didn't seem to have any tactics. I mean, like I said, Herndon is 37. You know, Wilder's 39. You know, everyone makes a fuss about his age, you know, how old he is. But he wasn't that much older than Herndon. The difference being, of course, that Herndon's never done anything in terms of world-class boxing. Look, like I say, Wilder, if he fought a string of this level of opposition, he'd probably stop them all. And people would probably be saying, oh, you know, he's got something left, Wilder. I'm not convinced he has. I think he looked old in there to me. It was a scrappy affair at times. Wilder simply doesn't seem to have that right-hand power that he did have previously. When he bothers jabbing, I mean jabbing properly, not just using the stick as a measuring tool, then he jabs half decently, but whereas the jab used to sort of blind the opponent, then the right would come across, that he didn't seem able to fire the right hand with the same. The intent was there, but the speed, those fast twitch fibers that he has, they just seem to be dulled, and yeah. It weren't pretty. It wasn't pretty. I mean, Herndon, I hope he got a half-decent paycheck for this, because he won't get another opportunity like this. But yeah, I do find myself thinking, Herndon, if he just thrown caution to the wind, would he have got stopped early? Would he have got knocked flat? Or would he have been able to take advantage, to take Wilder out of that complete comfort zone that he offered him on a silver cushion by not doing anything? If he could have taken him out of that comfort zone, maybe he could have, won rounds, given Wilder something to think about, exposed Wilder's eroded tools for what they are. I can't get over the fact that he got floored with a check left hook from Deontay Wilder. That's the sort of move that a Ray Robinson figure would normally do, but would have done. But no, Wilder's old. Wilder's old. He looks like his best years are, way behind him. But I don't know. They'll probably set him up for one final big payday. He'll have a couple of knockover jobs, and then, they'll stick him in there against some young gun who'll gun him down, I guess. I guess that's what the plan is. I have to say that this promotion was in Wichita, over in the US, but it was a very, shall we say, how can I phrase it diplomatically? A very unpretentious promotion. It reminded me a bit of some of those recent Don King shows, that look like they take place in leisure centres or in high school gymnasiums. And I mean, it was called Legacy Reloaded. Well, that's a very fanciful, optimistic title to give it. No, the legacy has not been reloaded, I'm afraid. And the promoter was a guy called Nelson Lopez Jr. I'm not familiar with him, but if you're an American fight fan, maybe you do know who this guy is. Let me know. And yeah, if you got anything else to say, just leave your comments below. What do you think about Wilder? I suspect you won't be that impressed, but leave your comments below. Do you think he's got one final great right hand left in him? Yeah, just let me know. Let me know what you think. Comments below. I'll give them a read and answer as many as I can. Thank you for your time. Please, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks a lot for your time. I always appreciate your support. And yeah, you take care of yourselves. Bye for now.